Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto live stream. Today, we have a ton of crypto news, and it is about to get very interesting because, well, I took a look at all you guys' comments and noticed, okay, some people are saying, Dusty, try to be more concise with the news, try to make sure that we, as people watching the stream afterwards, also have one, red line to watch the video through. So here's what I'm about to do, all right? I'm going to share all the most important news that I've found, and I've been doing a whole morning of research. We have a ton of interesting pieces and interesting thoughts. I'm going to share all that, and then at the end, we'll talk about everything you guys said in the chat box, right? I'm seeing Dennis already in there, Daniel in there, Fury in there, Legend in there. You guys are awesome for being here so freaking early. But as I said, it's going to be minimal interaction as I try to just pound through the news, and only if you guys have some sort of addition to my story, or you guys have some breaking news or so, share it in the chat box. And just share anything because I'll see it, but I want to make sure there's a story that everybody can follow, all right? So only thing I'm going to do here real quick is share the story over on, share the stream over on our socials. And then we're going to get started, and it's just going to be news after news after news, as I got a ton of it, guys. I'm actually pretty surprised after all the stuff that I could find today. It's a pretty drastic day, all right? Live right now. There we go. All right. So, getting it started, if we can here. The crypto market is in an interesting position. Obviously, these numbers are not correct anymore. It is not up 10% or so today. It's actually down 3% or so. Now, what has happened? Simply put, Bitcoin came across the 200 weekly moving average. And interestingly enough, a lot of coins are actually in that area, in that vicinity of the 200 weekly moving average. And to kind of put it into perspective, you can see right here, Bitcoin went towards that 200 weekly moving average, which we've been shouting at and shouting out for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I believe, I'm not exactly sure on the exact days of how long it was below. I think I saw one of the guys post that it was about 32 weeks or so that it was below there. I'm not so sure if that is exactly the truth. I think it was Ran that posted about it. Let's quickly check it out right here, how long it was. 35 weeks. He said Bitcoin is battling its biggest test in over 30 or in over a year. 35 weeks under the 200 weekly moving average. Expect some resistance here, but it should eventually destroy it. Now, if you take a look back at the videos that I've been making throughout the last couple of months and even yesterday, I told you guys, hey, our long positions that we started all the way back at $16.7 thousand, one of my main targets to end those positions, to close them out and take some profit was at that point $24.5 thousand. But since time has shifted, it ended up being slightly 0.5% or so higher at $25,000. But that's a major psychological barrier and a major, as you guys all understand, barrier because of the 200 weekly moving average. Anyway, right now, I said Bitcoin is in a little bit of a better position than many altcoins, but showcasing or actually taking a look at the amount percentage-wise of crypto assets that are above the weekly 200 SMA, even though I usually look at the exponential moving average, is pretty huge if you think about it. It's pretty wild that things have already recovered this quickly as of this point. Just something I wanted to put into the back of your heads. As I said, however, things are doing quite well, even though today's not that good of a day. One of the interesting ones is one of my favorite coins, and it is called Polygon. Hopefully, by now you've noticed I talk about Polygon a significant amount on the channel. I literally post about it every couple of days, and what's interesting is that Polygon right now versus Bitcoin is even just pumping like crazy. Again, I will be posting another video soon on my top 5 cryptocurrencies or something along those lines, but in my top 5 cryptocurrencies for February that I posted about 2 weeks ago or so. Yeah, you guys saw it. It was wild. We talked about the Polygon potential, and it's fulfilled a lot of that dream, and it's been a continuous up and up and up from the start of 2023. Just look at it for a second right here. This is the start of 2023, and this is where Polygon is at right now. It's just only on the up and up, and the price started at, let's quickly check it out. It started at roughly 75 cents, right now trading at $1.50. So it's literally doubled throughout this year already, which is, in my opinion, pretty damn wild. Now, there's actually a lot of stuff that's happening, but let me quickly see the chat box if you guys are all here. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of you guys in here. K2 says, hey, Dusty, huge fan. It's my brother's birthday. Can you get a shout out? Yeah, big shout out to your brother, K2. Big shout out. He says to Doug. All right, I always have to be careful. I've seen enough streams to make sure you don't say some crazy names right there. All right. As I said, if you're joining the chat box, guys, make sure you just quickly put in the chat where you're watching from around the world. I always appreciate that. Just say like, hey, I'm watching from New Zealand or from Netherlands or from Australia. Pick a place, all right? Just put it in the chat box. All right. So continuing on, there were a couple of interesting pieces today, and I think these are the most important. There was a lot of news regarding BUSD and the situation in that part, because obviously the SEC took an interesting stance towards it, and then the NYDFS, the New York Department of Financial Services, actually make sure that Paxos, the company that issues BUSD, had to stop it. And here's what CZ, the CEO of Binance, had to say. BUSD market cap dropped by $2.5 billion, from 16.1 to 13.7 as of now. And most of that has moved to USDT. The USDT market cap is up 2.4 bill, and the USDC market cap has actually also declined by 700 million because of pending investigations, albeit that those comments are now regarded as not certain. But there was a little movement 2 days ago about whether or not Circle was getting an investigation. But as I said, Circle has some of the best backing in this world, and so it's unlikely that Circle is going to go down or anything along those lines. But an investigation might be something like fuddy, so to speak. Anyway, the landscape is shifting, is what CZ said, and that is indeed a true piece, in the sense that right now, these regulators are going after crypto so hard that things are bound to change. And I also put it over on my Twitter. Hopefully I can quickly find it right here. That over in Canada, even right there, things are getting interesting. I just noticed Canada will reportedly tighten their crypto regulations as well for specific exchanges. Now, the Securities Exchange Commission over there, called Canadian Securities Administration, declined to reveal any new details, but they said they would do so in the near future. And even though this is not per definition bad, it just showcases that things are indeed about to change. And that's something you should keep in the back of your head, that none of this stuff will stay the same over longer periods of time. Even though right now, again, as I said, things are looking very, very bullish, they're changing, all right? Again, we have never seen a time period where Bitcoin was at this low of a price point, I guess, comparatively, as we've been below the 200 weekly moving average for so ridiculously long. And so the fact that we right now touched it and could actually break out above there could also result in one of the craziest rallies we have ever seen. And I keep showcasing to you guys as well. If we just for a second look back at every single time we touched this trend line, not even the 200 weekly moving average, and how far we pumped up from there, it's not too crazy to assume that by somewhere in the middle of this year or so, we're actually at the all-time high or even higher, if we just respectfully look at the amount of percentage gains we've had throughout the last couple of years, every single time we touched this trend line. Right now, we touched the trend line a couple of weeks ago. And even though if we extrapolate and took the longest period, which is March 2020, all the way to the all-time high, which is November of 2021, that's about 609 days. That would basically mean the moment we touched this line, which was November of 2022, if we take it 609 days or so, that would put us at July of 2024, which does conform with the halving cycles to get a new top. But that could easily get ourselves a top of, let's say, $100,000, $150,000 or so. I would not be too surprised if that were to happen. If we're conservative about it, though, very conservative, with only 600% gains in this time span, that would still place us at $100,000 per Bitcoin, which obviously would mean XRP, Ethereum, Polygon. Those will go after just prices that are beyond our capabilities of understanding, which just go absolutely freaking nuts, right? If Bitcoin could already go to $100,000, which is not that crazy in this little of a time span, even if you ask me. But hey, that's just my opinion. A little side note, guys, I wanted to quickly make this clear. I always keep NordVPN in the description down below. I just want you guys to understand, I use this all the time, and people are not thinking enough of making sure their data is protected as much as possible on the internets. I'll just leave a link to NordVPN down below. And the reason I'm doing that is because if you're not using a VPN currently, reconsider. MetaMask, Ledger, almost any single service you can think of out there, they collect your data. And I'm not a really big fan of it. And indeed, the one thing I can say is true, Now, you are handing over some data to NordVPN, right, the VPN service, but I'd rather make sure it's with the company that specializes in, this area than all the companies that are just trying to investigate me, even though I don't fully consent or notice. And it's just something I noticed when some of my researchers basically came back to me and said, hey, did you know Ledger was actually collecting all this data from you? Did you know that that MetaMask is collecting all this data from you? I was like, ooh, I didn't know that. And so I decided to always use a VPN for any single thing I do on the internet. And it's always on. I have two separate ones, but you can always see in the top right here, there's always a VPN on. Hopefully you guys can see it right there, which is a browser one, but it depends. I can also have a normal VPN. I just make sure you always protect it as much as possible. And this is one of those things which is extremely easy to do. It's like $3 a month or so, but I just bought it for a couple of years, and that is as simple as it goes. Anyway, there's more to the story that we have. Let's quickly go through some stuff. I actually have a couple of videos, and I want to showcase one of them real quick as well. This is an interesting one. Let's quickly see if we can get to it. Let me also see if I can change the screen. Here we go. There we go. Let's quickly watch this video.
What happens if they come after the centralized exchanges so hard that people are only forced to use like Fidelity or traditional financial services, and we can't use the Coinbase anymore? We can't really trade from our mobile apps anymore. That's one of the things that I'm a little bit concerned about, is that they really close the gap so that retail investors like myself can't participate, and we have to figure out how to either become accredited investors or kind of just take the products and services that they give us. And that's one of my fears. And I get people in the chat are probably saying, okay, well, there's DEXs, et cetera. That's great. That's fine and dandy. But what about the people that don't have the know-how to actually use a DEX? And do we really have any DEXs that are capable to facilitate Bitcoin transactions that are tried and true at this point? What happens if they...
So that was a very juicy piece. I actually like the way she explained things. This is what you get when crypto regulations basically get too far. And that's why I said, guys, be wary of what's happening right now. Canada is working towards this. The U.S. is working towards this, and already China and whatnot, they worked towards this a long time ago. What they're doing is making sure that the everyday Joe, just a normal human being, does not really have easy access towards this cryptocurrency stuff anymore. And they lose the ability to easily make money on the internet. I've said it before, the U.S. is the land of the free to some degree, where you can certainly become wealthy if you're born there, almost always, like if you really want to, right? However, if we compare it right now to the European landscape and a lot of other places around the world, the restrictions they've put on allowing you to utilize your money in the way that you want to is pretty wild. And right now, it's not really towards cash just quite yet, even though I think some administrations I don't know the name exactly. I think Hillary Clinton actually came back on this a little while ago as well. But there have been multiple administrations in the U.S. that said, hey, let's get rid of this cash because of X and Y, Z reason. Anyway, what they're working towards is making sure that you do not have easy access to these crazy lucrative opportunities in the form of cryptocurrencies, in the form of buying companies or intercompanies before they're public and whatnot. It's just strange to me that you need to have $1 million or an income of $200,000 to be able to get involved. And one thing they're doing here, indeed, is pushing this cryptocurrency stuff into the hands of these major institutions. First of all, for holding, they're changing right now the rules on who exactly can hold crypto for you, which is a very big deal. But also, they're changing the rules as to what cryptocurrencies you can invest into, which is not that bad because maybe they're going to prevent scams. But then we take a look at what they've been doing here with FTX and Do Kwon and whatnot, where it's not as if they're going after these scams up front. No, they're going after them after they've already happened, which is like, well, at this point, skip it, right? So for all of you that do not know, the SEC, woo, big claps for them, woo, yeah, SEC, good job, we're so proud, has gone after Do Kwon right now on February 16th. So, like half a year after everybody is like, you know what, we've forgotten about Do Kwon, he scammed all of us, but it's okay. The SEC, woo, has finally said, let's charge Mr. Do Kwon for defrauding investors. Very good, SEC. Good on the job. Good right on time. Protecting investors the way you're supposed to. Woo! I'm very, very proud of you. Like Jeremy Hogan said, in this vein, I'd like to formally issue a warning to Hawaii that the Japanese will bomb Pearl Harbor. Because it's like, well, it happened a while ago, all right? By giving us this warning, by charging it right now, you're not doing any good. I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to get here, regardless of whether or not they win. It's not going to get us our money back. It's just like the SEC has filed a complaint, and they're going to get money if they win, but that's basically it, right? What exactly is this going to do for investors? I don't really know. It collapsed in May of 2022. You're a year too late. What's going on? How can we celebrate the SEC's actions when this is what they're doing? It's really interesting to me, and I've been reading more and more into what they've done, and it's just absolutely absurd. And it's just also, I guess, kind of funny, right? You can only look at this and say, you know what? It's kind of scummy, but hey. Now, John Deaton also had something to say about the situation. He said, I haven't had the time to read the SEC's complaint, but if this is true, and the SEC claims a stablecoin is a security in regards to UST, or potentially, like we were saying earlier with the BUSD situation, which obviously is also a very big deal. We've been covering that on multiple different verticals. Now, if that turns out to be true, that it's a security because it can be exchanged or converted into a security, into Luna, it is one more example of the SEC making shit up as they go. And that is in regards to what Mike Selig said. He said, the SEC complaint against TFL and Do Kwon alleges that Luna and UST are securities. In a novel theory, the SEC not only characterizes UST as an investment contract, but as a security, because it could be exchanged for a security Luna. And under this theory, nearly anything can be a security because nearly anything can be converted. So if that turns out to be their reasoning, that could be extremely scary. But hold up just 1 second. Everybody, if you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button. It is greatly appreciated. We have 160 people watching right now, and we have 44 likes. Let's get out to at least 100 likes, everybody. Let's just quickly press that button. Anyway, look at this. Right now, and this is exactly what I think of when I think of United States. Right now, breaking alert. A law firm encourages Paxos Trust Co. BUSD token investors, so people who bought BUSD, to inquire about a securities class action lawsuit investigation. In simple terms, right now, there are people out there in a specific law firm that are looking to sue the living crap in a class action lawsuit form against, I think, Paxos here, regarding BUSD being a security, which would be crazy, but okay, because, well, they can make money if they win. And maybe potentially this could result in an easy settlement. The point being right here, this is let's see here. Yeah. So Rosen Law Firm has achieved the largest ever securities class action settlement against a Chinese company. Rosen Law Firm was ranked number 1 by ISS Securities Class Action Services for number of securities class action settlements in 2017. So these guys know that they have secured already hundreds of millions of dollars in a year for investors. They know this is a really far-fetched theory, but if they do end up winning, that could be hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's a smart thing. And that's, again, I think only in the United States you can do this type of stuff, where it's not really certain because the SEC has not officially sued them, but they kind of want to be in front of it and sue the crap out of them because that way they can make hundreds of millions of dollars. And it is smart. It is kind of, I don't have the right word for it. It's kind of strange, but, sorry. One eye said, if I exchange stablecoin UST to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a security? You know, that one is kind of difficult because you can also change fiat to Bitcoin, right? So would that make fiat securities then? I'm not exactly sure about how that one would work. I guess potentially it's if the company that's issuing it has options for it. But even then, it just makes things really difficult, which is why we're so confused with the situation, right? Anyway, we've had multiple different warnings regarding what would happen if BUSD was turned out to be a security. And I don't think it's going to happen because the SEC did not continue on with their complaint. They only complained, right? They only put a little inquiry into some of the details. They didn't go fully after it. But even CZ, the CEO of Binance, has warned now, if indeed it turns out that BUSD is a security, the situation for the crypto space is not going to be good. There will be profound impacts on the crypto industry. And his warning followed an alleged lawsuit by the U.S. SEC against Paxos. And even though it's not happened, again, make sure you understand that multiple different other sources are looking into suing the living crap out of this because that way they can make money. And it's honestly pretty smart as well if you start thinking about it. You know, I got to give credit to them. If they can make hundreds of millions of dollars and get a nice little juicy lawyer fee in the process, it's smart from their side, right? It's garbage, but it's smart. Got to give it to them. I think we've already covered this one. We have. Okay, let's quickly see what else we got right here. I have so much stuff, right, guys? I'm just kind of filtering everything right here. We've covered this one as well. This one, for anybody wondering, was about the fact that, indeed, the U.S. right now, the way in which they're doing things is making sure that you as a simple Joe cannot get access to crypto anymore, to not make money anymore, and to control everything. And one thing that was in that nature, let me quickly see if I can find it right here. I might have lost it somewhere throughout the process. Let's see. I think I might have it still if I look through my likes and get you guys this video. It's a little bit controversial, but there's a video right here. Oh, it's on Bitcoin Magazine. Anyway, there's a video right here which I found interesting.
Upper boys, they don't come.
Just in, Nigerians revolt at the central bank after it declared old currency notes no longer legal tender. Nigeria needs Bitcoin. Well, they're already, a little bit progressive towards it, even though the central bank is kind of difficult, but...
They just carry bots now. They just drop them. Everybody just run. Are they assassins now? I don't know why I went away. Anything God said. Just say, why can't I call you since when you could carry me go house?
Point being, I don't want to let this go on for too long. If you think that this type of endeavors, right, the fact that the U.S. just decides something really crazy cannot happen, I think you're gravely mistaken. All right, we've said it before that the U.S. dollar is pretty strong right now. With parentheses. It only takes one little shift and one guy to make a decision for things to really turn out to basic chaos. And we're seeing that in the form of what the SEC is doing against crypto. They're building these fundamentals for a very big takeover, but more importantly, they're restricting your ways out. And that's the most important part. Even in Canada right now, crypto regulations are not a bad thing, I think. They're good. Making sure that people have access to them, it's a level playing field. But the difference is in making sure that crypto is as difficult to get into as possible, or making sure that everybody can get into crypto in the safest and easiest way possible. Those are completely different things in terms of crypto regulations. And the US and Canada, as of this point, are not going for, all right, let's make it very easy and very clear as scam proof for people. They're making it, let's make it extremely difficult and extremely sketchy, because you're going to have to go through all these different loops, through all these confirmed vendors, and have to be an accredited investor to get into it. So you're losing some of the freedom. And I've said this in many of my interviews, but I always say the reason I got into crypto is because I was 13 years old and I didn't have a very easy way to accept payments without being 18 or over age, I guess, to accept payments through PayPal, etc. Afterwards, I found out you can make a PayPal below 18, which is why my PayPal got blocked, by the way, little fun fact. But I had a problem with that. And I was like, okay, with this cryptocurrency stuff, you can transact freely. There's nobody ever able to stop you, and it's a pretty easy entry. Now, the more the U.S. is fighting it, the more difficult it's just going to become to make use of all these easy flowing payments around the world. You can literally pay anybody around the world for almost free through your own powers. You don't need any intermediary. And they're stopping that, or at least they're trying to stop that. And that's why I hate it so much. And just if you think that they're not going to be able to do anything against a lot of your freedoms right now, I still firmly believe they can and they will. Here's a little fun video from Mr. Intuitive regarding crypto regulation. I think it was kind of interesting.
What's up, fam? They're going after DeFi. They're going after stablecoins. They're going after staking. And the war is just beginning. Meanwhile, Ripple's battle is coming to an end. They weren't there to defend them. And we're going to finish this ourselves.
Yeah, that's one thing I should also, I guess, make clear. For anybody that's not supporting Ripple right now, all power to you, because A, you're your own human being. But for anybody looking at the crypto landscape right now, if you do not realize that Ripple is in one of the best positions in crypto right now, I think we're not on the same page right here. Ripple has been fighting this case since 2020. Right now in 2023, a lot of cases are being brought up against this cryptocurrency space, against a lot of other parties, but Ripple has been fighting this for a couple years already. Aren't you guys understanding that this is almost done for Ripple? They can literally put on the map a lot of crypto regulation in the US, just from the case alone. And a lot of people were not fighting it. A lot of people were not taking it serious. But only right now, after all these other companies are getting sued, they're starting to understand just how important the Ripple case actually was. And that's something that's quite peculiar. People keep ignoring. They're going after DeFi. They're going after stablecoins, etc. They've been going after cryptocurrencies for years, and nobody was paying attention. We already said it before. They will only start paying attention once they really go after Ethereum, etc. And right now it's happened with staking. It's starting to happen. We talked about it. But, it's just interesting to me that people are so slow with accepting all this. Somebody said, when Family Sudan, friends? We have Family Sudan right here. Take a look. Here's a copy of the Pro XRP article that Forbes deleted from the website. Just know that, again, if you're thinking people are already really supporting this whole Ripple debacle, no. All right? Ripple's been fighting this for so long, and I honestly believe from the bottom of my heart that Ripple has a good shot at winning this and just being the start of a lot of good stuff in the crypto space, especially in the US. Look at this, all right? And you can hate Ripple regardless. It's fine, all right? To each their own opinion. I think the battle that they're fighting, though, is a very good one. Moon Lambo said this. Here's a copy of the Pro XRP article that Forbes deleted from the website last night with no explanation, and it is regarding this right here. Why the SEC treats Ripple and Ethereum differently. And it's a good freaking article, all right? February 15th, material issue members set for Q&A screenings as out-of-time Blu-ray nears release. It's mostly regarding what we've already established before, but they're just, the SEC that is, having a strange way of approaching crypto. And I believe this was also written again by Rosalind Layton. You can see people like Bill Morgan here saying, hey, hope someone made a hard copy that encirculates the crap out of all this, because it happened again just after we have an interview by Dr. Rosalind Layton. A Forbes article, Why the SEC Treats Ripple and Ethereum Differently, was removed in the last hour. This is turning into a real dogfight, as basically whenever she posts something onto Forbes, it does not have the same freedoms as a lot of other articles usually have. It's just interesting to me that they always like to take these things down. I'm not sure exactly which party, but I'm guessing that Forbes does not want to fight the battle against the SEC either, which makes sense, because why would you want to fight an uphill battle, right? It's not a smart move business-wise to mess against the SEC. But Coinbase is doing it, Ripple is doing it, and multiple other parties are doing it, which is why I think in due course it will all be fixed. But it's just something to keep in the back of your head, guys, that indeed even Forbes right now is not supportive of Ripple just quite yet, and it will still, I don't think, ever change. Anyway, we could talk for a little while as well about how Ripple is still doing a lot in the background. People are not noticing, but if you think Ripple is posting all of their deals and posting everything that they're getting done, I think you're mistaken. Here was a question. Will Ripple sign Singapore as its next CBDC customer? Here's a reasoning as to why. Now, I'd like to wager this. Ripple most likely already has 10 times the amount of partners than meet the eye. What I mean with that is, if you honestly believe and think that Ripple has announced the majority of partnerships that they have, you're mistaken. There's two main reasons. One, these companies do not want to out themselves as being involved in crypto just quite yet, or being involved with this blockchain technology or like the company Ripple. And that has a second reason. They don't want to be involved in this lawsuit, so they might have gotten a partnership in the background, but they don't want to announce it for in case Ripple actually does end up going down, which probability-wise, there is a logical piece for that, right? But take a look at the video from Brad.
We announce our customer relationships when our partners are ready to announce that, and is part of working with the industry and not kind of trying to surprise them. Right. We will make those announcements when we and our customers are ready.
You have to understand that. That's literally what all these companies in the world do. It's always so funny to me, actually, how people say, oh, but Ripple hasn't announced major partnerships in a while. They're in a major lawsuit, all right? It might not be the best move for them to do that right now. And the U.S. only has a small piece of all their business. They're working towards things all over the world. And we talked about it recently in their, I think, Q4 report, the fact that ODL, Ripple's main business that utilizes XRP, has scaled so ridiculously much throughout the last year. But you're not really noticing it because it's happening in the background, right? It's being built. All these fundamentals are being built, but they're not major updates, even though it is happening. That's really important for everybody to understand. Again, I'll just quickly say it again. If you guys are enjoying these streams, I'm going to try to do an update or stream every single day. Make sure you smash the living crap out of the like button whenever you join the stream, just to show some appreciation. It is greatly appreciated by every single one of you. You guys are awesome. But just make sure you go ahead and do that. It would be amazing. Let's quickly filter through this to see. Oh yeah, that was an interesting one regarding CBDCs as well. Most countries are looking into it, and it's really happening significantly quickly. Even though, again, you're not getting all the fullest and newest deals. Japan is, for example, to launch a digital yen pilot in April already. We're not sure if that's officially going to go live, but they're all countries in the world are looking towards it, and they're seeing which companies to partner up with. A lot of these guys are already partnered up with Ripple probably to build it, but you're not getting those updates, I think. All right. Interesting one regarding Elon Musk. I saw this and I was kind of interested in all this. Have you guys been up to the whole AI craze? I've been focusing on it for a little while, but Elon Musk says that AI is one of the biggest risks to civilization and needs to be regulated. He co-founded OpenAI. Just wanted to quickly say, I think AI could be a very big opportunity in crypto, but there's a really big question of why exactly would AI and cryptocurrencies be mixed as of this point? In the sense of, what exactly would you need a token for regarding AI stuff? It's like only if you want to do like some sort of payment gateway or things of that nature, but very often you just don't really need AI for anything in the crypto landscape. Or vice versa. Otherwise, I'd say you don't need cryptocurrencies in the AI landscape. It could be, but many of those tokens being generated right now, they're just being generated for the sake of making money, not for actually having a proper use case where crypto is necessary or can be very useful. And that's also something that people need to make a difference between or with. Real question, real quick. Where are you guys all? I already asked where you guys are all watching from, actually. I should ask, what time zone is it for you guys? Like, right now, are you watching this at like 6 p.m. or 9 o'clock in the morning? Or, 6 o'clock in the morning, you just woke up? Or are you watching this in the middle of the night somewhere? Let me know. Don't put your city, guys. I talked about it before. If you put your country, that's fine. Or your state being a little bit more general or whatnot, that's fine. But people who put their exact address, hey, I'm watching from Damascus Street right here. Yeah, maybe don't do that, Be a little bit more cautious with it. Hey, Rover, welcome back, my buddy. Welcome back. Sean, 6:57 on the treadmill watching. You're a dedicated guy. Ravi's watching at 5 a.m. Some of you guys are maniacs, huh? Rover, what time do you wake up? I try to wake up every day now at 7 or 8 a.m., but people waking up at 5 a.m., you guys are goals, man. I try, but it's you have to go to sleep so early. OpenAI was created as an open source, which is why I named it OpenAI, non-profit company to serve as a counterweight to Google, but now it has been become a closed source, maximum profit company, effectively controlled by Microsoft. Not what I intended at all. And for that reasoning as well, I think, guys, AI is going to be such an interesting battle. Over the next couple of months, you're going to see so much change in AI. And I sometimes sit back and think for a second, like, what is AI going to turn into over the next couple of years as well? In terms of, is it really going to develop a consciousness in that sense, like we've seen with Bing AI that people have been kind of afraid about? Is it really going to be the next big thing in crypto, or is it just a facade to that degree? I understand AI will keep continuing on, but if it's such a pay type of game, even for ChatGPT right now, you actually are able to pay, I don't know, $50 a month, $60 a month or so. Crypto Rover says, Dusty, are you buying more XRP? So it's actually a fun question I get quite often. People ask me the question, what are you buying most? So I made a video a couple days ago, guys. No, it's already 2 weeks ago, about my top 5 cryptocurrencies for February. And the thing is, I put in there Polygon, XRP, I think it might have been QNT as well, and I don't know my others for that specific time frame, but almost every single one of those coins is up like 30% already. And the thing is, if you're not buying cryptocurrencies at these realms, at these price points, understanding that probably over the next 6 to 12 months, we're just going to keep continuing to go up and up and up, I don't know what to tell you. I have no idea what to tell you. Just buying it consecutively, I personally think buying it every single day is the best way going forward. And it's just, to me, pretty hard to, it's pretty hard to understand that people are hesitant towards buying more crypto. Even though we can see a crash, don't get me twisted. I would not be too surprised to even see a crash towards like $18,000 or so. Would I be then, oh no, what happened? No, it would be not that crazy. I still would say buying every single day is best purely with following this philosophy. And I think a lot of you guys will agree with me if I say it right here. I'd rather regret, or I guess lose some money trying it out, than having the regret of not trying anything at all and not making the money, if you guys understand my drift. I'd rather regret trying something than always living with this regret that I didn't try. And this is true for most people. This has been clinically, I said, proven that we as human beings are having a harder time fathoming, losing money over, I guess, losing out on some potential gains. But I think you have to kind of hardwire yourself to rather just lose some money trying it out than actually, you know what I'm saying here? Missing out on all these opportunities. It's like one of my biggest regrets throughout the last couple of years, even though I don't really do regrets, but if I had to name one, has been that I didn't take enough risk. And it might sound crazy because I'm invested in crypto. It's a risky game, but I'd still say taking more risk will allow you to make so much more gains and get so much more out of it, which is also why I always have a long position open, guys. I talked to you guys before, but let me quickly see my long position right now over on Bybit, which a link is down below, guys. I always trade on Bybit. Let's quickly see. My long position that I opened in Telegram with you guys right now is in 100% profit. It's mirrored, but it's 99% right now, 98.55%. This is a trade we opened up a couple days ago together in Telegram. If you've not joined my Telegram yet, make sure you check it out. But yeah, it's wild that people are not opening these long positions for the longer term. I keep talking about it. It's wild that people do not want to risk to have a, whoa, the headphones changed for a second. Anyway, let's quickly take a look at all the news that I still have. There was one guy, and this is really peculiar. A smart money, insider trading, bought 26,000 GNS at the cost of $208,000 just before Binance announced the listing of GNS, and they sold all those coins for $300,000 or $100,000 profit in a few hours. Now, maybe this guy's just a genius, all right? And he knew something because of some code or whatever that we did not, but right? It to me sounds like some juicy ass insider trading right there. And I sometimes wonder, why do I not get these opportunities? And this is again another fun showcase of insider trading is happening everywhere. It happens all the time. The people, just generally speaking, don't get caught. The only people I think that get caught are the freaking dumb ones. All right, because think about it. Let's say you have insider information that Binance is going to list some sort of coin. The dumbass that keeps getting all this information will buy the same amount every single time. See, I just bought it again on a centralized exchange. But a lot of those smart guys, they're probably doing this. I think a lot of those guys are already telling their friends and family, especially their family, I think, of, hey, this might be happening, that might be happening, and they can get away with it. It's only if you consecutively do this 30 times in a row that you'll eventually get caught like we saw with Coinbase, because those guys are playing a dumb game. But if you think it's not happening, I mean, look at Pelosi. Look at Pelosi. If you think it's not happening, that's crazy talk. And so this is not surprising to me. They're not outing this as insider trading, but it doesn't make sense. Oh, I'm just buying $200,000 coincidentally right before it happens. Oh, and then a couple hours later, oh, let me just sell $300,000. Oh, what a good trade. This is not a coincidence. No way. All right. Come on, guys. Come on. Anybody thinking this is a coincidence, I think is nutty. Smart money. It's very smart. But SEC, good luck going after them. I think it's they bought it on 1 inch. Yeah. Good luck getting after them, guys. Good luck with that. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Oh, that's too funny. Let's quickly see. Oh, yeah. There was also Carl, and this was an interesting one. I want to see what you guys think. Chart update. Bitcoin formed an inverse head and shoulder target. And the target is $35,000 if the neckline breaks. Follow for more. It was peculiar for me to look into this and think about it. Indeed, a head and shoulder pattern, in this case, can have a nice little breakout to a $35,000 price target. But I've been thinking and sitting here and thinking for a little second. Is $35,000 really the next goal that we are looking out for? I don't think so. Everybody, if you're wondering what to look out for, it is really the 200 weekly moving average right now. Anybody watching cryptocurrency prices, take a look at this exact price level right there. And the moment we cross that, all hell can break loose. And I think we're going to see an easy pump towards $30,000, but we'll have to see from there again, as that's, again, a major psychological barrier. I don't think we're going to see one drastic move towards $35,000 instantly. I think $30,000 is a way more important barrier. Anyway, we've had our little touch at the moving average, and we'll have to see from here. Potentially, we could see a little bounce back towards, $18,000 or something like that before continuing towards the upside. It's happened many times before, though, that you see one or a couple rejections at this level because it's such a major move. Realizing for a second, guys, that Bitcoin has moved 62% without major corrections in the midst. There was a nice little correction right here of roughly 11% or so, but to go down by 11% would be roughly $22.6 thousand or so. It's not that severe. I'm talking if we see a correction of like 30% towards like $18,000 or so before continuing on with the gains. Is it really that wild? I'm not showcasing to you guys properly, but you understand what I mean. Is it really that wild? I don't think so. I think, however, that just by buying every single day, you're maximizing opportunity here, however. So, again, my thoughts on the matter is just buy every single day to minimize the regret. But, again, that's just my thoughts. There was one more piece I had from Fat Man Terra regarding the SEC situation with Do Kwon, which, again, I think is wild. But anyway, this filing from the SEC wholly corroborates the insider's testimony about Do Kwon faking Chai transaction volume to garner investments into Luna under fraudulent pretenses. Anchor and the entire Terra ecosystem was founded on a big lie. And it makes me think of FTX in the sense that all these guys are freaking scammers trying to get investments and trying to get money through lies. But I guess it's worked many times over. Take a look. But in the background, Terra solved some of the biggest challenges for merchants. And apparently a lot of what he said at that time was actually lied. Chai targets an annual run rate of $1 billion, making Terra one of the most active blockchains in the world. Apparently, this was not officially true, etc., etc., etc. And you can read into it if you want to. Terraform and Do Kwon marketed the Terraform blockchain as having real-world use, especially Terraform and Kwon, or specifically, repeated claims that Korean company Chai used the Terraform blockchain to process and settle 1 million transactions for Korean consumers at retail establishments. These statements were materially false and misleading. Chai transactions were neither processed nor settled onto the Terraform blockchain, which is crazy if you start thinking about it, that they made up such claims just as complete lies. Pretty wild, right? But yeah, it's something to keep in the back of your head. And I think that was it for the majority of our news, except for this. Never give up on crypto, and I should keep repeating this every single day for all of y'all. If you're giving up on crypto, guys, you're a freaking lunatic, all right? In my own perspective, my own thoughts. Never give up on crypto. And that's about it. If you're giving up on crypto, you're too late. If we gave up a little while ago, November 21st, we would have missed out on 65% of gains already. If you bought Polygon at that point, you would have already had 100% gains, and so many other different cryptos. You would have had crazy amounts of gains in this little time span of a couple weeks. Again, probably if you're about to give up, you're giving up at the lowest point. That's the fun thing about, giving up on things, right? Especially when you do it, it's about to turn around. Right now, Bitcoin has fallen down slightly after testing that 200-weekly moving average, but I still think, guys, there's so much to come, and it's not going to take too long before we're back at those all-time high levels. It might take a year, but is a year really that long to get 500% gains on your money? Or if you're buying altcoins, to get 1,000% gains on your money? I'm not a financial advisor, but I think it's easily going to be possible to get 100% gains in the next couple of months. But especially like those 1,000% gains and whatnot, I don't think they're going to be too difficult in the next 12, 16 months, let's say, or 18 months, let's put it. But yeah, that was it for today's little crypto live stream, guys, to share with you all the most important news around the web. I tried my best this morning. I spent 3 hours or so researching everything that's been ongoing and shared everything in this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you press that like button, and I'll be back later on. One thing I should say, last but not least, is we're doing a massive $1,000 giveaway. I actually wanted to say that at the start, but I forgot about it. So let me just quickly say it right now, if I can find my tweet about it. We're doing a $1,000 giveaway, and all you have to do is just make sure you, on YouTube, just comment something down below. That's it. I see every single comment, but I'm going to do two things. One is I'm going to look at every single person that stops by these streams and comments and goes to the comment section and comments. I'm looking at every single person, and I'm remembering that. I remember what I did last year, right? I gave $10,000 away in, I think, October or something like that. I don't remember exactly the date. This year, we're going to do way crazier giveaways. It's going to be nuts. But I think instead of doing random people, I'm just going to reward the people that are most, close to the channel, that are just supporting us always. It's going to be a little bit of a difficult situation, obviously, as I want to also bless people that are, that need a chance like this, which is why I'm doing a cool giveaway with the Dubai trip. If you guys remember, I'm flying over 5 people to Dubai over in the next bull run summer to teach them everything I know about crypto. But a lot of cool stuff is going to happen next bull run. All I can say about that is just make sure you stick around, stay around. It's going to be a very good time period, guys. As long as crypto goes to a bull market, things are about to get awesome, especially for people that follow me, because I'm going to teach you so much about making money in this online realm. It's about to be nuts. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, yeah, giveaway over on my Twitter. You can check that out, but also over on YouTube. It's going to be awesome. That was it for today's little live stream. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. And I'll see you again in another one. Peace out, everybody.